On Monday the 13th of January, we were told about Randy Anderson, a US Special Forces veteran who made astounding claims concerning secret technology via YouTuber Jesse Michaels' podcast. He claims to have seen amazing things in a technological division known as Off-World Technology when he was brought to an underground facility at the Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane in Indiana in March 2014. He saw a sphere hovering over a pedestal and a bracelet that radiated hieroglyphic-like holographic writing while he was there. Since then, another new UFO whistleblower was revealed to the world. Jake Barber was first introduced by the American television network News-Nation, who reported that Jake Barber, a veteran of the US Air Force, worked on a long-rumored secret UFO retrieval operation and was engaged in the recovery of alien technology. Whistleblower Jake Barber disclosed in an exclusive interview with News-Nation that he was employed as a helicopter pilot to recover several kinds of downed craft, some of which he believes are not human in origin. Barber said to Ross Coulthart of News-Nation that you could tell it was extraordinary and anomalous just by looking at the object on the ground. Barber continued and said that it's inconsistent with anything they had seen before and referred to the object as a white egg. Lou Elizondo and David Grush are among the other whistleblowers who have asserted the existence of a covert government UFO program, but Barber claims he is aware of its existence since he is involved in it. Barber stated that senior members of the UAP task force have confirmed to him over the past few years that what they were working with that night was, in fact, non-human intelligence, and it was not a unique experience. The name of a covert, unacknowledged special access program pertaining to UAPs was revealed by a new government whistleblower, according to Michael Schellenberger's article, UFO Program from Congress, Whistleblowers Alleged, which was published on October 8, 2014. According to a whistleblower, the Pentagon has a highly classified program called Immaculate Constellation that is purportedly connected to UFO or UAP recovery. This program is thought to be focused on recovering, researching, and re-engineering technology from aliens. Photos, films, and papers pertaining to UAP encounters and sightings are reportedly part of the program's vast database. Calls for increased UFO transparency grew stronger in November 2014 when Rep. Nancy Mace made history by inserting a classified Pentagon dossier called Immaculate Constellation into the Congressional record. According to the paper, a covert Pentagon initiative that was started in 2017 combined information from many military and intelligence sources and described multiple UAP contacts. Among these accounts were close encounters in which UAPs demonstrated sophisticated maneuvers, including hovering over naval vessels and escorting fighter jets. Interestingly, over the last 2 years, anonymous insiders have provided consistent descriptions of the UFOs allegedly recovered by various military operations. These objects are said to be smooth, seamless, metallic, and shaped like an elongated egg or oval, lacking visible propulsion systems, seams, or markings. Unlike traditional aircraft, these craft do not exhibit wings, exhaust systems, or conventional engines, yet they are capable of flight maneuvers that defy modern physics. One whistleblower, who claims to have been part of a classified recovery mission, described encountering an egg-shaped craft buried partially underground after what appeared to be an emergency landing. The material of the craft was described as highly reflective, metallic, yet warm to the touch, and no visible means of entry or damage were found. When attempts were made to cut or penetrate the material, it remained impervious to known tools and weapons. Another source reported a crash retrieval operation in a remote desert location where an oval-shaped UFO was found intact, with its surface appearing to have self-healing properties. Scientists and engineers working in secret research facilities allegedly struggled to determine how the craft functioned, as it lacked any recognizable internal components such as wiring, fuel tanks, or propulsion systems. If these accounts are true, it would mean that humanity has encountered technology that operates on principles completely unknown to modern science. This could explain why governments have gone to great lengths to keep these discoveries hidden, fearing both the implications of revealing such knowledge and the potential strategic advantages they might gain by studying and replicating these technologies in secrecy. The secrecy surrounding the retrieval of oval egg-shaped UFOs is part of a larger pattern in which governments have deliberately withheld information about non-human technology from the public. There are several possible reasons why authorities have chosen to keep this knowledge classified. One theory is that the technology contained within these recovered craft could provide an unparalleled advantage in aerospace engineering, propulsion systems, and energy production. If non-human vehicles operate without conventional fuel sources and can manipulate gravity, revealing this technology to the public would upend the global energy and defense industries overnight. Another reason for secrecy could be the fear of societal disruption. If these whistleblowers are correct, and these craft are truly of non-human origin, governments might worry that full disclosure could cause widespread panic, religious crises, or mass psychological upheaval. The acknowledgement that humanity is not alone in the universe would fundamentally shift perspectives on science, religion, and human history. Yet, despite these concerns, many whistleblowers argue that the general public has a right to know the truth. They believe that continued secrecy serves only a select few, while keeping groundbreaking technological advancements hidden from humanity as a whole. For decades, the topic of unidentified flying objects has been shrouded in secrecy, dismissed by governments as nothing more than misidentifications, weather phenomena, or hoaxes. However, in recent years, a growing number of anonymous whistleblowers from within the US government have come forward, claiming that UFO recovery programs not only exist, but have been operating for decades. These insiders allege that the United States has secretly recovered and studied non-human craft and possibly even biological entities, and they believe the time has come for the public to know the truth. The idea that the government has been hiding evidence of extraterrestrial technology is no longer confined to science fiction or conspiracy theories. With former intelligence officials, military personnel, and aerospace engineers risking their careers to share what they know, it is becoming increasingly clear that disclosure may not just be possible, it may be inevitable. According to these whistleblowers, the general public has a right to understand what has been hidden for so long and how this knowledge could impact the future of humanity. In recent years, multiple anonymous sources from within the intelligence and defense sectors have revealed that highly classified UFO recovery programs are being conducted within the Pentagon, private aerospace companies, and secret military installations. These programs, according to whistleblowers, have been responsible for retrieving crashed UFOs, reverse engineering their technology, and keeping the findings hidden from both Congress and the public. Some whistleblowers have described retrieving non-human craft that defy the known laws of physics. They claim that some of these craft appear to be constructed from materials that are not found on Earth, and that their propulsion systems operate in ways that challenge current scientific understanding. Others have gone even further, stating that biological entities, possibly extraterrestrial in origin, have also been recovered. These claims align with long-standing rumors of crash retrieval programs dating back to the famous Roswell incident in 1947 and subsequent cases in which unknown craft allegedly crashed or were downed under mysterious circumstances. Despite the extreme secrecy surrounding these operations, some of these anonymous whistleblowers have come forward at great personal risk, speaking to journalists, government investigators, and even members of Congress behind closed doors. Their message is clear: the truth is too significant to remain hidden. One of the most compelling aspects of these whistleblower testimonies is their shared belief that the general public deserves to know the truth. They argue that withholding knowledge about UFO recovery programs is not only unethical, but potentially harmful. If these programs truly possess advanced extraterrestrial technology, the implications for energy production, space travel, and medicine could be groundbreaking. Imagine a world where zero-point energy, gravity-defying propulsion, or even advanced healing technologies were made available for humanity's benefit. Yet, according to these insiders, a small group of elite government officials, military contractors, and intelligence agencies have actively suppressed this knowledge, fearing that it could destabilize global power structures, disrupt the energy industry, and cause societal upheaval. The secrecy, they claim, has prevented scientific progress and has kept humanity dependent on outdated technologies when far greater possibilities exist. The growing demand for disclosure has also gained momentum within the US Congress. In 2023, lawmakers such as Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Representative Tim Burchett pushed for greater transparency, calling on intelligence agencies to declassify information related to UFO encounters, crash retrievals, and recovered materials. Congressional hearings have provided a platform for whistleblowers to testify under oath, further legitimizing their claims. Despite the potential significance of their revelations, whistleblowers who come forward about UFO recovery programs face serious consequences. Many fear losing their security clearances, careers, or even their personal safety. Some have described being threatened, intimidated, or warned not to disclose what they know. Others have been met with official denials and character attacks, tactics often used to discredit those who expose classified information. Nevertheless, their willingness to speak out demonstrates the urgency and importance of their message. They believe that humanity is at a crossroads, and that continued secrecy only serves to benefit the few while keeping the masses in the dark. If these whistleblowers are correct, and the United States government has indeed recovered non-human technology, then full disclosure would represent the single most important revelation in human history. It would confirm that we are not alone in the universe and that other civilizations, potentially far more advanced than us, exist. The technological implications alone could redefine energy production, transportation, and space exploration. Beyond technology, disclosure would also have profound cultural and philosophical implications. Religions around the world would have to re-examine their teachings, governments would need to develop policies for extraterrestrial contact, and humanity would need to redefine its place in the cosmos. Yet there is also a darker possibility that these revelations could expose years of deception, hidden agendas, and unethical secrecy. If governments have indeed misled the public for decades, the resulting distrust could lead to widespread calls for accountability and systemic change. Some believe this is precisely why officials have resisted full disclosure for so long, because the consequences of admitting the truth would be too great. In a landmark and risky decision, the German government has approved a proposal allowing the armed forces to shoot down unidentified flying object drones in response to a spate of suspicious activity near military bases, critical infrastructure, and industrial sites. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's cabinet approved the plan on Wednesday, marking a significant shift in Germany's approach to aerial threats. The proposal, which still requires approval from the Bundestag, is framed as part of a broader strategy to counter suspected espionage from Russia and China. However, the issue becomes murkier with Russia and China denying involvement, and military insiders suggesting that the technology behind these drones far exceeds what is currently available to any known nation. The decision to escalate Germany's defensive measures comes after an increase in UFO drone activity in sensitive areas across the country. These sightings have reportedly taken place near military bases, energy facilities, and key industrial sites, raising alarms about potential threats to national security. The objects in question exhibit behaviors that have confounded experts. They lack visible propulsion systems such as wings or rotors, evade radar detection, hover silently, and outmaneuver even the most advanced fighter jets. This level of sophistication has led to widespread speculation about their origins. While initial suspicions pointed to state-sponsored espionage by adversaries like Russia and China, both nations have denied any involvement. These denials, coupled with the technological capabilities observed in the UFO drones, have fueled debates about whether these objects are terrestrial in origin or represent something more enigmatic. From a national security perspective, the presence of unidentified drones near critical infrastructure is a cause for serious concern. Such activity poses risks to military readiness, economic stability, and public safety. Drones capable of avoiding radar detection and operating undetected for extended periods could gather sensitive intelligence, disrupt essential services, or even execute targeted attacks. Germany's decision to authorize the use of force against these drones underscores the urgency of the threat. Shooting down unidentified drones is a dramatic measure, reflecting the government's determination to protect its strategic assets. However, this approach also introduces challenges, particularly in ensuring that defensive actions are proportionate and do not escalate tensions with other nations or inadvertently endanger civilians. The unusual characteristics of the drones have led many military insiders to question whether they are products of terrestrial technology at all. Observers have noted that the object's ability to hover motionless, operate silently, and execute abrupt, high-speed maneuvers far surpasses the capabilities of conventional drones or aircraft. This has sparked comparisons to unidentified aerial phenomena reported in other parts of the world, including the infamous Tic Tac UFO encountered by US Navy pilots. If these drones are not the work of foreign adversaries, their origins become a profound mystery. Some speculate that they could be the result of experimental technology developed in secret, possibly by private corporations or rogue actors. Others entertain the possibility of extraterrestrial origins, though such claims remain speculative and lack concrete evidence. The German government's decision comes at a time of heightened geopolitical tensions. By approving a shoot-down policy, Germany is signaling its readiness to take decisive action against perceived threats. This move aligns with broader efforts among NATO allies to strengthen defenses against hybrid warfare tactics, which include the use of drones for surveillance and disruption. However, Germany's approach also raises questions about the legal and ethical implications of engaging unidentified objects in national airspace. The Bundestag's approval process will likely include debates over the rules of engagement, the criteria for identifying threats, and the potential consequences of shooting down objects whose origins are unclear. Balancing the need for security with the risk of unintended escalation will be a key challenge for German lawmakers. Germany's encounters with advanced drones are not isolated incidents. Reports of similar objects have surfaced in countries around the world, from the United States to Japan. These sightings often share common characteristics: objects that defy traditional aerodynamics, operate without visible propulsion, and exhibit behaviors that suggest advanced intelligence. The global nature of these sightings has led to increased collaboration among nations in investigating the phenomenon. Organizations like the US Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office and the United Kingdom's UAP Task Force are actively studying these incidents, sharing data, and developing strategies to address potential threats. Germany's decision to engage these drones militarily represents an important contribution to this international effort, though it also underscores the need for greater transparency and coordination. While Germany's shoot-down policy addresses immediate security concerns, it also introduces significant uncertainties. For one, identifying the drone's origins remains a critical challenge. If they are revealed to be the work of a foreign adversary, military engagement could escalate into broader conflicts. Conversely, if the drones are later determined to be experimental or private in origin, their destruction could have legal and financial repercussions. There is also the possibility that the drones represent phenomena beyond human understanding. Engaging with objects that may not conform to terrestrial expectations could have unpredictable consequences, both politically and scientifically. As such, Germany's actions will likely be closely watched by the international community as a test case for handling these enigmatic encounters. Germany's decision to authorize the armed forces to shoot down UFO drones has sparked intense debate, particularly on social media platforms. While the government views the move as a necessary step to protect critical infrastructure and national security, many people online have raised serious concerns about the implications of such actions. Skeptics argue that engaging these unidentified aerial phenomena is a risky strategy given their unknown origins and seemingly advanced technology. The debate underscores a growing unease about humanity's readiness to confront the unknown. One of the primary concerns raised on social media is the uncertainty surrounding the origins of these UFO drones. Are they foreign espionage tools, experimental technology, or something entirely beyond human understanding? Without clear answers, many people feel that a shoot-first approach could escalate tensions unnecessarily. If these drones are terrestrial in origin, their destruction could have significant political ramifications. For instance, if they belong to a foreign adversary like Russia or China, shooting them down could be interpreted as an act of aggression, potentially worsening international relations. However, both nations have denied involvement, and military insiders have suggested that the technology observed in these objects far surpasses anything currently known, making terrestrial origins seem less likely. This ambiguity has led many to caution against immediate military action. Critics argue that engaging an unidentified object without understanding its purpose, origin, or capabilities could provoke unintended consequences. Some point out that if these drones are extraterrestrial, shooting them down could be interpreted as a hostile act, potentially inviting retaliation from an advanced civilization. The technological capabilities of the UFO drones are another major point of concern. Observers have noted that these objects lack wings or visible propulsion systems, can hover silently, evade radar detection, and outmaneuver even the most advanced jets. These characteristics suggest a level of engineering far beyond current human capabilities. On social media, users have speculated about what this technological disparity implies. Many worry that humanity is simply not equipped to deal with such advanced objects. If these drones are reconnaissance tools, their operators, whether terrestrial or extraterrestrial, clearly possess a superior understanding of physics, engineering, and perhaps even warfare. Attempting to engage them militarily could expose vulnerabilities in our own technology and defensive systems. This perceived imbalance has fueled discussions about whether humanity should focus on peaceful observation and communication rather than confrontation. Some commenters argue that destroying the drones would only provide a temporary solution, leaving the larger mystery unsolved. Instead, they advocate for investing in research and international collaboration to better understand these phenomena. The debate over Germany's policy also draws parallels to historical encounters with the unknown. Many social media users have referenced past incidents where human actions led to unintended consequences due to a lack of understanding. For example, during the Cold War, misinterpretations of unidentified objects often heightened tensions between superpowers, bringing the world dangerously close to conflict. These historical lessons serve as a reminder of the risks involved in making hasty decisions about phenomena that are not fully understood. Critics argue that a more cautious approach, focused on gathering data and analyzing the drone's behavior, would be wiser than engaging them militarily. They point out that the current lack of understanding about these objects means humanity is operating in uncharted territory, where every action could have far-reaching implications. Beyond the practical risks, many online discussions have touched on the ethical and philosophical implications of shooting down UFO drones. If these objects are extraterrestrial in origin, their destruction raises questions about humanity's readiness to engage with other civilizations. Some users argue that responding with aggression would reinforce negative stereotypes about human behavior, potentially damaging any chance of peaceful contact. Others have raised concerns about the potential loss of valuable information. Destroying a drone could eliminate the opportunity to study it up close and learn more about its design and capabilities. In this context, critics argue that capturing or observing these objects without destroying them would yield more benefits in the long term. Supporters of Germany's decision argue that it is necessary to protect national security, particularly given the sensitive locations where these drones have been observed. However, even some proponents acknowledge that the policy should be implemented with caution. Striking the right balance between defensive action and scientific inquiry is essential to avoid escalating tensions or missing opportunities for discovery. International cooperation could play a crucial role in addressing these challenges. By sharing data and resources, nations could develop a unified approach to studying and managing the UFO phenomenon. This would help ensure that decisions are based on comprehensive information rather than isolated incidents or assumptions. As mentioned, the UFO drones observed above military installations share several remarkable characteristics that set them apart from conventional aircraft or drones. These objects are often described as lacking visible propulsion systems, such as wings or rotors, yet they can hover motionlessly, accelerate instantaneously, and change direction abruptly. They operate silently and are often invisible to radar systems, further complicating efforts to track or identify them. Reports from military personnel indicate that these drones exhibit behaviors suggestive of advanced intelligence or programming. For example, they appear to respond to military activities, such as training exercises or weapons testing, by positioning themselves strategically or engaging in what seems like reconnaissance. This has led to speculation that the drones are either highly advanced surveillance devices or represent technologies beyond human understanding. The presence of UFO drones near military installations raises serious national security concerns. These objects could potentially gather intelligence on sensitive operations, disrupt military activities, or even pose a direct threat. Their ability to evade detection and operate undeterred near high-security areas highlights vulnerabilities in current defense systems. Advancements in technology and research are essential to unraveling the mystery of UFO drones. Efforts are underway to develop new detection systems, such as quantum radar, which could potentially identify objects that evade traditional radar. High-resolution imaging and AI-driven analysis may also provide clearer insights into the behavior and structure of these drones. International collaboration could play a crucial role in addressing the phenomenon. By pooling resources and data, countries may be able to identify patterns and draw more definitive conclusions about the drone's origins and purpose. Transparency and public engagement will also be important to maintain trust and ensure that findings are shared responsibly. The mystery of UFO drones has captured the imagination of people worldwide, fueling debates about technology, security, and humanity's place in the universe.